Welcome to the first match of the minor leagues this week. We've got Templis versus Nasty Boyz. Templis, they are in red on your screen, Nasty Boyz up in blue. So let's just run through the Templis team first. They have come in with their entire team sitting out at range. In fact, both teams have come in sitting at 50, so there should be a bit of a positioning fight at the start as both teams move around, try and get into optimal position and just either get where they need tackled and get that damage applied. We've got 10 seconds till the match is about to go underway.
And of course, we do have opposite spawns that potentially that Raven was looking for. They're going to be starting exactly 100 kilometers apart with these two teams, and that micro jump drive could come into play.
Yeah, that's a very good point. The Raven is turning actually away, so he's probably going to try and burn backwards a little bit, as that Tempest is going to be burning in, and just try and position himself maybe for a micro jump drive in a little bit of time. He's not gone straight away. The problem with going straight away is, of course, he's going to be massively out of the range of his Logi. Now, that Scythe that they've picked up is probably a good choice for micro jump driving, because the Scythe is a micro warp drive Logi compared to the Osprey, which is afterburner. So that Scythe will be able to close in to the Raven if he does jump, enabling them to move the entire team around the field. Whereas the Osprey, he's going to get left behind if that happens.
Indeed, the Osprey, of course, brings an afterburner, and so being quite slow as we see. He's still hanging back from his team as they begin to move forward and screen. But moving in, potentially a very good move for Nasty Boyz at this point. It's shutting down the ability of that Raven to come in to a degree. If it did, it would end up behind their team and not able to instantly jump on anything.
Yeah, exactly. So they're slowly sort of moving down. They have to take their time with that, because their tackle with that Slasher, that is AB as well. Their Osprey, that is AB. So if the Cyclone and the Tempest kind of go barreling ahead, they are going to outpace the rest of their team. And that's probably what the Tempest team are hoping that will happen, that maybe the Tempest will just come barreling forward out of range of that Osprey, and they can just focus it down before the Osprey can really get into optimal rep range. We are seeing some damage being applied piecemeal to some of the members around here, but no one's taken significant damage yet.
Indeed, and both Shield Logi holding their team fairly stable, though as I say that the Merlin is taking slightly bigger chunks, but they are negligible. We see the Tempest actually staying quite far back in the Nasty Boyz team. It's probably going to be staying in range to screen anything that goes on, tries to get onto that Osprey, specifically the Raven if it does go for that micro jump drive play, or if it does just try and burn in soon.
Yeah, I mean, ideally that Tempest wants to get in close, get his grappler and apply maximum damage, but at the same time he's got to watch out that Raven can apply a lot of damage as well. Now that Raven can load long range javelin and hit out to about 50k, so he does have a little bit more of range to play with than the Tempest, but even still he really wants to get in close, just apply maximum damage.
We're seeing actually one of the less mentioned points of this new Raven fit. It's got a target painter. It's got it on that Thrasher, and we're seeing a lot more damage come onto it now. That target painter simply doesn't exist in the championship outside of E-Warships, aside from on that Raven.
Yeah, we did also see some newts there briefly from the Tempest onto the Talwar as he pushed forward, but then the Tempest turning around and actually burning back towards his team. So he did burn forward a little bit, apply some newts, and decided, you know what, that's a bit too scary for me, I'm going to go back and sit next to my Logi.
Indeed, it's worth noting, as these teams still they stand off against each other, that Scythe is out at 108 kilometers. It's getting pushed closer and closer to the edge of the arena. And very soon, Templis are going to run out of space to back away from the Nasty Boyz team.
Yeah, it's a very good point. We have sort of pushed all the way over to one side, and that Scythe is just skirting around the edge now. He's just sitting about 110, so like you say, he doesn't have very much room to play with. He is still in range. He's getting some reps on that Merlin at the moment. He's going to be in fall off, but the idea with that Scythe is he does have that micro warp drive. He can close that distance really, really fast, get in there, get some reps on, and then get back out again. He's not quite as trapped. Now, he doesn't have any regen or any ability to rep his shields up like the Osprey with its XLASB, so he has to be a bit more careful with his positioning. He can't get caught out. As soon as he does get caught, he will die very, very fast.
Indeed, we see some damage trying to be applied later, a lot coming back onto the Thrasher, but that Scythe taking chunks, and that's probably going to be their first target. If they can chew through Omar Jumper in the Scythe, it will eventually fall down. It cannot, as you said, it cannot recover that HP. Any damage they can get to stick will stick for the rest of the match, in theory.
Yeah, we're seeing infiltrators from the Nasty Boys just now chasing after that scythe. There are some light shield bots on the scythe, but not that many. There's more of them flying over now to try and get some reps on him, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. A whole set of infiltrators on a fairly untanked scythe is going to do some damage. Now he's going to have to just turn on his microwatch drive and try and move around very fast, get away from those heavier drones.
Indeed, we see
Again,
the
this fight
Merlin.
seems to be a lot about positioning now. We're seeing the Tempest is starting to move into the Templis team now. He's quite far ahead of the rest of his team. The Raven is now in the middle of everything, and we're now starting to see the fight, really get underway. There's damage onto the Cyclone of Nasty Boys. The Scythe of Templis is now going to quite low shields. If he doesn't get more reps from those bots or get out of there very fast, we might see the Scythe going down.
Indeed, but he has got out of there very fast. You see him going nearly 3 kilometers per second as he overheated his micro warp drive to get away from that Tempest. And the damage we're seeing on the Hurricane, the Hurricane has been tackled, but it's certainly not what Nasty Boys want to be hitting. It's probably them putting damage on it because they're trying to get back towards that scythe, or they're only using their longer range weapons on that scythe right now.
Oh, massive hit right there on the Nasty Boy Thrasher. He went from almost full shields to nothing, and he is gone. At the same time, the Scythe now into Hull. So this could be a trade. It's a very good trade there for for Nasty Boys, taking one destroyer for a Logi cruiser. That is a great trade for them. The Hurricane there of Templis, that is about a quarter shield remaining, and he is starting to take some significant damage. The Osprey of Nasty Boys also taking damage, so the teams are now just starting to brawl. They've decided the positioning is no longer for them. They want to just get in there. They want to push F1. They want to grapple each other and just see who can do the most damage.
And here actually we see the power of the Hurricane's information warfare link, probably letting the Raven get good paints on things, and the Raven's alpha damage from from those torpedoes is what is chewing through the Nasty Boys team. Every volley you see that tears through that Osprey is going to be a single volley of torpedoes from that Raven.
Yeah, Artemis in the Osprey, they're just hanging on for dear life in that Osprey. He's only got a few charges left in his XLASB. Once he runs out of those, he's going to just vanish from the field with a couple of volleys from that Raven, as he's just going to have almost no buffer left. He's got half hull and that shield remaining. So as soon as he's fired his last boost, I think we'll see a couple of volleys come in from that Raven, and then boom. Now we have lost that Hurricane from the Templis team, so they've lost those information links, so that Painter now less effective, as you say.
And we're potentially seeing the Osprey slowly crawl out of the range of that Raven. At the very least, he might force the Raven to reload to less damaging torpedoes, which combined with the loss of application could give it some more time, but it is being taken very low by each of those volleys.
Yeah, Artemis at the moment being an absolute hero, managing to stay alive under just immense DPS pressure now. I guess the removal of that Hurricane has made it a little bit easier, but he's still taking significant chunks of damage and just barely holding on. The Raven of Templis, out of its shield, out of its armor, into Hull. He's going to go down very quickly as well, and then it's going to be just the Talwar and the Merlin left. That Osprey is just probably saved his entire team by hanging on there in, let me hover over and find out, 50-something% structure, but now he's taking huge hits again. He's down to 20-odd% structure. Just, again, hanging on. Artemis in the Osprey, absolute hero now. He's probably won the entire game for his team there by just probably heat management with that very heated XLASB, I'd imagine.
And likelihood is that last cycle he squeezed off was probably on cap, so he's still boosting. This Osprey is hanging on through it all.
Yeah, the Talwar actually does really good damage to the Osprey, it's worth noting, and the Merlin as well does alright damage. So between them, they probably could kill the Osprey given time, but I just don't think they have that time now. It is just the Talwar. Although, could he do it? Could the Talwar take that last few shots on that Osprey? He is not repping anymore, and he's down. There you go. So the Osprey, that's some points for the Templis team. Very important kill. This tournament format, we do look at individual ships' points killed, so that they add up over the season, and it could be the deciding factor. So it is worth trying to save your last ship if you're losing, or if you're winning. It's worth trying to get that full wipe and get those extra points.
And especially noting Nasty Boys at the top of the table, this is often something that comes down to how many points you end up giving away potentially, with a lot of victories being this full 15-point wipe.
Yeah, and that would take a domination victory as well if you manage to kill everyone else without losing a single ship of your own. In this case, they have lost the Osprey and the Thrasher, so it won't be a domination victory, but it is still a pretty solid victory right there. Nasty Boys taking Templis. Great match, very, very good positioning at the start, and we'll hand that one back to the studio.